Good morning, baseball fans. It is Thursday, November 2nd. Nothing happened last night. The Arizona Diamondbacks definitely did not win the World Series. I am begrudgingly saying congratulations to the Texas Rangers for winning the 2023 World Series, and that is the last time and probably the only time you will hear me say that. This is Susie. I am Bourbon and Baseball. And if you are on the YouTube side, you get to see my very lovely special guest, Megan from Top Fan Rivalry. Rivalry. I don't know why that word is so hard for me to say. So if you are not on YouTube, go check her out. Super hot, by the way. I know you're not checking out the YouTube for me. Definitely go check it out for her. Megan, I'm so excited for you to be here. Yay!
Thank you so much for
Oh,
having me. I'm super excited to be here as well.
also, if you're new around here, you probably shouldn't get used to this. This is going to be a PG-13 rated episode. If you're not new around here, I know that is going to shock you to your core. So kiddos can probably listen to this, most likely, but there will not be any F-bombs, and I'm so very sorry about that. I know that's why you're definitely tuning in, is to hear my profanity-laden rants. Oh, good. My lawn crew has decided to show up and start mowing. So, I apologize if you hear any of that in the background. But you know what? I get paid exactly $0 for this, and you get what you pay for. So sorry. Anyways, yeah. So Megan, did you watch any of that World Series last night or any of the World?
Yes. So I didn't tune in every inning of every game. I am a mom with 2 kids, crazy schedule. So my evenings are very full with all of the things. But yes, I was following on my phone. And, after game 2, I'm like, okay, we're going to go 7. This is going to be a series. Like, I'm pumped about it. And then obviously, as the days went on, as the games went on, I realized that was not the case. So I really didn't have a dog in this fight. However, I'm a fan of baseball and I love the sport. So I was following the World Series, see what was going to happen. I don't think any of us expected these 2 teams to be in the World Series, but it was cool to see some underdogs and some people that were not anticipated to be in the World Series play. So I am shocked with how it turned out. I did not think the Rangers were going to take it in 5. But it is what it is. I am a Texas girl. However, the Rangers are not my team. Neither are the Astros. However, but yeah,
It's okay. We're going to work on her, guys. We're going to work on her. Okay. Like it'll happen. Just give it time. Okay.
But I'm a fan of Susie. I'm a Susie fan. So there's something to be said about that. I will say that.
I mean, like, aren't we all though? Because I am just a freaking delight. And so I'm just kidding.
What's not to love? There's no jokes here. I'm serious. Literally, I'm her biggest fan. I will start a club.
Ooh, that is always appreciated and loved. And I say we, like I have a mouse in my pocket. I don't. My dogs and my cats, however, are very appreciative of that. So, Megan, you said that you weren't a Texas Ranger fan. Good for you. That's the correct choice, but also not an Astros fan. And I'm not going to judge you for that very long. But what team are you a fan of?
So I'm a fan of the New York Mets. It's kind of crazy how that came about. But my dad is born and raised in New York. So he's a diehard fan of New York sports. It's Mets, it's Giants, and it's the Knicks. So he moved to Austin in the 80s to open the Hyatt Regency. He is a chef by trade. And so he moved down here to open that hotel. And when he did that, he met my mom. And here I am. They decided to stay in Texas, and that's where I've been raised. I was born and raised in Austin. So, but he is such a diehard Mets fan. It is, honestly, if you're a Mets fan, you're a diehard. You're not a fair weather Mets fan. So you
gotta be like a true blue, like Mets till I die to kind of hang into this, especially this season. Last season I could understand why Mets fans would be Mets fan, but like this season, that was a tough look.
Heartbreaking. Yeah. One thing about Mets fans that we all have in common is that we love torture and abuse. So, if you're a Mets fan, you're in it for the long haul. And I don't, like she said, I don't think anyone was expecting the Mets season to turn out the way that it did. But, we sold at the deadline like we needed to, shout out to Max Scherzer. I'm so happy for you, sir. But yeah, it is what it is. There's a lot of work that needs to be done in the front office, and we'll get there. I don't think 2024 is going to be the year either. I think we're very much in rebuild mode. So it'll happen. 2025, I think we'll be contenders. So I'm anxious to see what happens. I think that the Mets got a little too overconfident and in their head. I think that everything that was placed on them and everything that was expected of them, they didn't live up to it. And it's heartbreaking. Me and Bill, my boss, we always joke about the fact that the Mets were eliminated in May, and it is essentially true. We might as well have been. I lost hope the first week of July, and it's like right after actually the series that we played the Diamondbacks. That was a really fun series for me to watch. There was some good baseball played on both sides. But it's crazy now thinking about how fun that game was to watch. And then seeing the Diamondbacks in the World Series, I was like, oh, and like I was heartbroken last night as I was watching them like lean over the railings. And
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, like bummer. But yeah, tough season to be a Mets fan. And I say that every year. So really nothing new.
Yeah. So that game last night was so ridiculous. I had said, their backs have been up against the wall. Their backs being the Diamondbacks, have been against the wall many a time in the postseason. Time and time again, they have come through and they have, shown us and rallied, and their nickname was the Answerbacks, and unfortunately they did not answer back, and Zach Gallen threw a freaking gem. I mean, no hit through 6 innings.
Crazy.
And Nathan Eovaldi, I'm so salty because the Diamondbacks left literally 11 men on base, and they went 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position. And I joked last night on my Twitter that, I was like, oh, as being an Astros fan, I was so sad not being able to watch the Astros in the postseason, but it's okay because here come the Diamondbacks, just leaving all of the men on base like my Astros, and I'm all, it's like watching Astros again. I haven't missed you, and so the fact that they got so much traffic against Nathan Eovaldi and they just couldn't push anyone over. Anyways, I'm not salty about it at all.
So I have a question for you. At any point, I'll say after the 6th inning, at any point were you like, oh, this is it, we're coming back, this is the time, this is going to be it? Because like I'm very much that person. Like I'm the fan that, during a football game, I'm watching every minute of every quarter. I'm not leaving in the third if we're getting blown out. I'm like, oh, we're about to rally, a comeback is on the horizon. Same with baseball. It's like I'm like, oh, bottom of the 7th, 2 outs, 2 strikes. We're about to come back. Like it's homer time. He's gonna go yard. Like I'm very much that fan. And so what was your take on that? At any point did you think that was gonna happen, or were you like, oh, we're done?
I was a little, when I read that Aroldis Chapman was warming, I was like, here we go, boys. Here we go. I just knew that the tightrope act that the Rangers bullpen had put on the entire postseason, it was going to implode. Like they were finally going to fall over, and it was going to happen. And Aroldis Chapman was going to be that detonator. And he walked Perdomo. I was like, there it is, boys. There it is. There's that. There it is. That's what we need. And then Corbin Carroll freaking swung at the second pitch, and it was out of the zone. And I was like, what are you doing, Corbin Carroll? Why are you doing? And I was done. And my cat agreed.
What are you doing?
My cat agrees. Yeah.
I was like, oh, he's so in his head. Like he's big nervous. Like the pitches, like they honestly as a whole, like I get it. Y'all want this. Like that, I get it. But it's like they were so in their head. They were so nervous. Like, and it was just written all over their face. And the Rangers, like, I mean, when they came up in the 9th inning and did what they did, I was like, oh, like I should just shut up because clearly they deserve this. Like they were just, I mean, everything, they were on point. They looked cool, calm, and collected. I
Yep.
was like, well, that's a wrap, you know.
Yeah.
And I was actually shooting pool with my dad last night at the end of the game. And so there were, you know, I'm in Texas and there were a ton of Rangers fans in the pool hall and they were just, I mean, they were going crazy. And like
I
there were
bet.
like
I bet.
two Snakes fans in there. And like me and them, I'm like, should we just go like snuggle in the corner for a second? Like, should we just go have a moment? What should we do here? Because yeah, it was a bummer. I was shook. I couldn't believe the ninth inning. I was like, oh,
I
well,
was
that's a wrap.
so
Like, got
I was so upset. And then the fact that Marcus Semien had been cold the entire postseason, he'd been cold. And then Adolis Garcia gets hurt, and Marcus Semien's like, "Don't worry, guys, I got it. I'm here now.
He's
JK,
like, say
yeah,
less.
I was waiting for the spotlight to be on me, and then like Travis Jankowski, everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, Adolis Garcia is gonna go out." Travis Jankowski, like, oh, Travis Jankowski is gonna be such a letdown. And then in that game, not 2 nights ago, he says, I don't know if you know this, but I'm a badass. Look at me. I'm gonna go 2 for 4, double RBI, like drive into, make an amazing. I'm gonna cross up Marcus Semien, but oh hey, guess what? I'm gonna still hold on to this ball. Like it just all of the things, just the horseshoe that was just shoved so far up the Rangers Tukis is and you're welcome. So FYI, guys, since this is going to be shared, on the Top Fan Rivalry side, and their shows are primarily family friendly. I am trying to maintain family friendly.
You're knocking it out of the ballpark.
It's so hard. It's so hard. So anyways, it was just
all of the engines were firing. They were on, things were working.
Just heartbreaking. And then the fact that Josh Spores closed it out, and everyone's like, Josh Spores, who's Josh Spores? Like, what is that? Well, I know, guys, I know. It's just congratulations to the Rangers. You won your first World Series. Now the way too early season predictions for all the sports books are out and whatnot, and they have the Rangers and the Astros tied at plus 800 odds. To win the World Series. Yeah. So it literally it's the Braves and the Dodgers, and then Rangers and Astros tied, and then it's the Phillies. I'm sorry, what now?
What? Yeah. Okay. Can we pump the brakes for 2.5 seconds? Can we pump the brakes, please? Yeah. I mean, I think it's interesting. Again, shout out the Rangers. Like y'all did y'all's thing. Like they played phenomenal baseball. So there's something to be said for that. Now one thing the thing I'm excited the most about in terms of the Rangers winning the World Series, Val, Stadium Food Girl, who is so near and dear to my heart. I love her so much. She, travels all across the country, going to different stadiums and talking about the super cool food that they have. She is such a great girl, and she is a diehard Rangers fan. And so I was really, really happy that she got to have that moment. She was super emotional, and I'm like, good for you. I can't relate. I haven't felt that in a really long time, but I was so happy for her. So yeah, you felt that feeling a little bit sooner than I have, a little more recent, I should say, than I have.
Yeah, just a little bit, and just to recap on my baseball fandom journey, if you're new around here, I became a fan in 2018. Did not know, hated baseball in 2017, was not a fan. My husband had to wake me up in game 5 of that World Series, and the sentence that he woke me up with was, Bregman walked it off in the 10th, and I don't know what words you just said to me, and I don't care. Like, I'm just very upset that you woke me up. So, and then, then we went back in 2018, we lost to the Red Sox. But at that point, I was still in my baby fandom and just kind of was, getting used to baseball and in all of it. 2019, Astros go back to the World Series. 2020, that was just a whole mess. I've actually kind of forgotten about the 2020 season. 2021, we go back to the World Series again. We lose to the Braves, Jorge Soler, dagger to the heart. Still can't apparently win a game at home, and then 2022 happens and we finally like win that chip. And I was so excited because at that point in time, so in 2021 is kind of really when like my fandom took off and I knew about other teams and other, like I knew who they were and what positions they played and if they were good or not. And so that meant a little bit more to me. Last season obviously meant a ton to me because I was like really entrenched in all of the things. And then this season happened and I'm not going to bemoan or beleaguer any more about this team that could have been this season, but all I'm saying is that maybe if we had a competent manager, we could have been a little bit farther than we did. And if anybody comes for me and is like, "Oh, well, we went to the game 7 of the AL," stop it. We could have won the ALCS and we could have lost again, possibly in the World Series. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. If we just had won a friggin' home game. Anyhow, that's neither here nor there, and I'm no longer salty about it. That's lies. That's lies. I will still be salty about it forever. But we're going to move on. We're going to move on. And now,
wait, I have a question. Can I ask you a question?
Yes, of course.
So how did you go about, because it's really interesting that you're a more recent baseball fan and there are so many things about the sport, so many like stats and like little things here and there. How did you go about like immersing yourself into it and learning? Like, were you like, how many innings are in baseball? Like, how did you like talk me through the process of like how you learned the ins and outs and how you became such a mega fan? And what was kind of like the turning point and like, oh, this is actually something I'm super into?
So like I said, 2018 happened and I was learning a little bit more about the sport and the players and like the different
positions. Did your husband play a big role into that? Was he like kind of like coaching you up as y'all were watching games?
Kind of, not really. Like he had always been a big, huge baseball fan and would always like try to, get me to watch games. And I would rather watch paint dry than, watch a baseball game. And then after that World Series, I was like, okay, let me just see. Let me see what this is about. Let me see, what's going on. And, in my day job, like I said, I'm a photographer and all of the kids are talking about the Astros and blah, blah, blah. And I'm all, okay, well, let me just kind of be familiar with players, positions, all that, just to have another talking point. Yeah. And so started watching it. And I remember asking my husband, okay, so like the shortstop is the shortest guy on the team. Like that's why it's called shortstop, right? And he's all, no, baby, that's Jose Altuve. He's the second baseman. I'm all,
yeah, that's just who he is.
Yeah, I'm all, but he's short. Like, why? But he's like, no, the shortstop of the Astros is Carlos Correa. Like, that's the tall guy. I'm all, that doesn't make any sense. This sport's dumb. Why? And
sense.
So yeah, and then like going through and kind of learning, like all of the rules and whatnot. And he was correct, and I dang it, this is being recorded. And so now he's going to like clip that and be all, oh, see, in this, you said I was right. But he was right. Like it's a game within a game and you're trying to kind of figure out that whole like pitcher hitter like mentality. Okay, so he swung over a fastball last time. I got him with a slider away. Is he going to expect the slider away? In this count. And it's just kind of all those like little mind games within there. And then if he's pitching him away, where does the defense set up? And that's all like now. But in 2018 it was just so that guy over there is in right field, and he's like, yes, and so 2018 happened, like I said, 2019 happened, and obviously baseball is more fun when you're winning, right? And was really getting into that, and literally, but I still had no idea about any other teams. And so this season when Steven Strasburg retired, everyone's like, oh, Steven Strasburg, like World Series MVP in 2019. I'm sorry, what? I watched that World Series, and I have no idea. Like I could not remember him. Like if he walked in right now, I could not tell you who he was, right?
You're like, what's up,
dude? And so that was just more like learning. And then 2020 happened, and then I was that at that point I was like really excited and wanted football, wanted baseball. But then 2020 happened, and then literally everything shut down. So all I could do was, watch that 60 game season. And then I think at that point in time, that's kind of really when I buckled down and got into it, just because
Your research, yeah.
there wasn't anything else to do. And
Yeah.
so and then I started playing fantasy baseball in 2021. And
Crazy.
that's really like when my knowledge kind of took off about other players and other teams, and and because that thing is, you got to set a lineup.
It's a beast. Playing fantasy sports is it's a lot. Like that'll teach you more than almost anything else. Like, because you're really immersing yourself into it. And it's like, there is something to be said for like the fans that, they know their team like the back of their hand and they know the sport. But for the people that like know the ins and outs of the other players on other teams that aren't their team, it's super impressive. And so kudos to you. Does your husband do you guys now, is he like, who are you? Like, what's the dynamic like between y'all now when it comes to baseball?
Yeah, it's so it's really funny because so then, in like 2021, when I started really getting into it, I started getting into baseball podcasts and started listening to baseball podcasts. And I don't know if you know this, but a lot of baseball podcasts are geared more towards males, and a lot of baseball podcasts like hosts are like old white guys. And I don't need another old white guy talking at me. Like, I have one of my own here. I don't need anybody else. And so I couldn't find any female driven baseball podcasts that were actually about baseball and not about how good the baseball players looked in their schmedium pants, which, don't get me wrong, I do appreciate that. Okay. Like, I will
take a moment.
I will admire the schmedium pants, like Strider just drop the quad workout. Okay. Like, I don't know what you're doing over there, Spencer Strider, but the quads and those schmedium pants are it's like chef's kiss. I just don't
want. We need to know. We need to know the routine. Yeah.
I just didn't want, a full 45 minutes of all of that. Again, like I am a heterosexual female, and I can appreciate that. But there's just, I actually wanted to talk about stats and how they're actually playing, and and everyone's like, "Oh, you must love Kyle Tucker." I'm like, I actually do love Kyle Tucker, but like not like that. Like,
not why you think I don't love him for the reasons you think I do. Yeah.
I was like, no, like I love him as a player. Like, I don't, nope. They're like literally 3 baseball players that can get it, and that's it. Okay. Everybody else, like, you are a very handsome human being, and you fill out your schmedium pants very well. And that's the end of that.
That's it. Yeah.
And so I say a lot, like the 3 female podcasts that I could find about baseball were mainly about that. And I just wanted to just shove rusty spoons in my ears.
Yeah.
And then I was literally talking about baseball all the time to my husband, and he goes, "Baby, I love you, but can you just talk about baseball with anybody else? Just anybody else." And
he's like, "What did I create? I should have never woken you up that day."
And he's like, "Well," and I would complain to him about all these podcasts that I would listen to and how there were no female baseball podcasts out there. And he's like, "Well, why don't you start one of your own?" I'm all, "Why would I start my own baseball like, who's going to listen to me about a baseball podcast? Like, that's dumb. That's the dumbest idea you've ever had." And it just kind of percolated in my mind just a little bit. And then probably like 3-ish months later, I Googled like how to start a podcast.
Yeah.
And reached out to one of my past seniors who was a D1 athlete. She played college softball. Amazing girl. And we have the same 12-year-old boy sense of humor. And again, so if you were here from the Top Fan Rivalry audience and you have small children around you, put earmuffs on them. Okay, this is your warning. Earmuffs. Earmuffs. Okay. So when we first started the podcast, we had a segment called Talk Dirty to Me. And it was the most ridiculous thing ever, because before I understood the baseball and, kind of what they were saying, I would listen to these commentators. I'm all, Sir, why are you saying it like that? Why are you saying that he's got a real good long stroke and he knows what he's doing? Why did you have to emphasize it like that? I'm sorry. Why are you rubbing dirt on your balls all the like
Yeah.
what? Why?
Yeah.
And I was
It's
just
like,
laughing
what?
hysterically. Yeah,
Yeah.
about all of the just like the double like entendres I get. Like I'm all
Yep.
did you did you really have to say that he put some good wood on it? Like, sir, um, why?
And I
Why? Yeah,
did.
and, it we would listen to the various games throughout the week, and we would pick, like, one of our favorite phrases, and that was a segment on the show, "Talk Dirty to Me," and it worked with us pretty well
Right.
because, again, we have the same, 12-year-old
Yes.
boy sense of humor,
Very
and,
yeah.
we wanted to talk about the baseball, so we talked about the baseball and it worked. And, the Bourbon and Baseball podcast was born and it has just kind of evolved over time into, well, Shelby left me because she sucks, but no, I'm just kidding. I love Shelby. She, got
Shout out
another job and was unfortunately didn't have time to record any longer. And so, I am still looking for a female co-host that knows all about the baseballs. I don't
Oh,
know.
shameless plug.
Yeah.
I will keep my eyes and ears open. Say
So
less.
so if you are female and love all of the baseballs, you can have a favorite team, but you just need to know all of the baseball teams or like,
Right, right. Well, I mean, you can have
firstly,
a
yeah,
favorite team if it's the Astros.
yeah.
I mean, let's be
Well,
real.
that would also be great. But hey, again, I will take at this point I will take any of the females that know all about the baseballs, just
Yeah,
any of them, and
can
that
hold
want to,
conversation.
yeah, that want to do a
Love
podcast with me.
when I
So,
find female fans of any sport that I can have actual conversations with because it's hard. They may be able to say something here and there, but it's like when you get down to the nitty gritty or when you get to like your opinion on it, it's like,
right.
don't tell me an opinion you heard. Like,
Yeah.
what is your opinion? Tell me what's going on in that, brain of yours. And,
Yeah.
and then there's also something to be said for the fans that are just like, well, I'm just happy to be here. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But it's like, man, it is really special and fun when you find a female that you can talk all the things with when it comes to sports because it's hard to find. It's harder
Yeah.
than you would think to find. I'm sure you know this. Like it's
Yeah.
hard. It's tough.
Yeah.
So do you only
Well,
have female guests on or you have all
oh,
different
no.
guests on?
I have all different guests on, and sometimes I have guests, and sometimes it's just me and a co-host chatting about all of the baseballs, and so used to, when we had a schedule, it was every Sunday we would record and we would put a, episode out. But then I had to go and be dumb and enroll in a college algebra class. And I don't know if you know this about me if you're audio only, but I'm Asian. And so but I'm not that kind of Asian, and math just is not my strong suit. So it took all of my brain power, just all of the brain cells to pass this algebra class. And so the podcast unfortunately had to, took a little hiatus over the summertime. And so I've been slowly getting back into it and just, reaching out to various people to talk with, and kind of debating on if I want to do like a solo thing. I don't know if I want to do that yet because that's kind of hard to do, but we'll see. Maybe we'll do it. I don't know. Put it in the comments, guys, if you think that, stop waiting for a co-host and just talk at me, Susie. If that's what you want, I'm happy to oblige. But at this point in time, all four of my listeners are like, Susie, what are you doing? Stop it. But so
No, no, I'm
yeah,
I'm so happy that I met you and that we got to connect because now like most of the people I follow on Instagram and I would say that follow me are sports fans in some sport. And
right.
so I'm gonna keep my eyes and ears open. And thing about you is like I love that when we chat, like I don't have to pull for anything. Like it just happens. And it's
Yeah.
like you can make the magic happen all on your own. So if that's how you end up, if that's the route you take, like you got it. Like you could totally run this all on your own. But yeah, I'll keep my eyes and ears open because, I love what you're doing and it's kudos, big props.
Well, I appreciate that. And you're very good for my ego, Megan. So
Hey,
maybe
you know
maybe
what? One thing
I'm
about
gonna
me is
just call you.
No,
I'll
I
just
am
call you
not
in the
a
morning and
liar
just be
though. If
like,
I'm gonna
"Hi,
pay you
girl."
a compliment, I mean it. I'm not handing out free compliments. If I say it, I mean it.
Well, thank you. It is appreciated. So, yeah. So, but now, so Megan, let's kind of move on to Top Fan Rivalry, and this is kind of how we were introduced. Bill, your boss, reached out to me a couple of weeks ago for me to be a guest on the Top Fan Rivalry show, and I was like, cool, that sounds great. I don't actually know what you are, but uh, let's do it. So
Yeah,
kind of
let's do it.
kind of explain to the peoples what Top Fan Rivalry is, and like kind of like the end goal, I guess.
Okay, so we kind of touched on this earlier. There's so many baseball podcasts out there, there whether it's male or female or whatever, it's like usually the focus is like you said on stats and the game and what's happening in the major leagues. What's different about our community is that we're ran by the fans for the fans. So it's like we're connecting fans with each other of all of the teams. So it's just
Mhm.
people talking about their love and passion of baseball, And so we give so much shine and praise to the players, which they deserve. This is why we watch the game, right? We know them, we love them. But it's like our thing is we want to highlight the fans. There would be no Major League Baseball if it weren't for the fans. And so that's really where we want to shine our light. And so, yeah, I mean, over the years, Bill started this 3 years ago. And over time, I mean, so many people have been connected. And like, it's when you're a diehard fan of your team, it's easy to have that rivalry, right? And you look at another team or like a fan of a rival team and you're like, oh, like they're the enemy. Like, no, thank you. But it's like, that's the beautiful thing about what we're doing is that it's really connecting the rivals and making some magic happen out of that. Like now I've got good friends that are Phillies fans. I've got good friends that are Braves fans. It's like never in a million years was I looking for a Braves fan friend, but here they are. So yeah, it's been really, really special. And I've met some incredible people through this community that now like I text all the time and they've become like so special to me. And again, you're sharing your, passion and love for the sport. And it's like,
Yep.
that's what it's all about. So it's like the members of our community, our fans, that's like the heartbeat of what we're doing. And so that's what's so fun about it. It's like a bunch of people that love to talk baseball and they're passionate about their team, but they can also appreciate all of the other fans of other teams. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
really what it's all about. Bill,
Yeah.
like you mentioned, he runs the podcast. He's the face of the company. Really, really, really amazing guy. His wife Amber, also incredible. They're great people to know. And yeah, they're baseball enthusiasts and huge sports fans. So Bill knows his stuff. He's funny. He's easy to talk to. And so yeah, he's really grown something beautiful with Amber's help. And so yeah, it's been an amazing opportunity to be a part of that.
And we'll forgive Bill for being a Dodgers fan. But that's, everybody has their flaws, and that's just unfortunately Bill's. So no, I'm just kidding. We love you, Bill. We love you, Bill. So yeah. And again, I will put all of the links to all of the social medias and all of the sites in the episode description below. But check out Top Fan Rivalry. I don't know why that word is so hard for me to
It's a
say,
tough
but
word. It's
it's
a tough word. It's not just you.
it's
I struggle daily and I say it all the time. So
It's
it's
not
okay.
it's not it makes me feel dumb. I'm like, I'm not a dumb I mean, maybe I am. I mean, I am dumb, but, like, not in that way. So, anyways, so
Not
I
at all.
put all of the, links to Top Fan Rivalry in the episode description so that you guys can go to that directly and kind of check it out. The podcast is great. It's on Spotify and, like, Google, I think, and then you can listen to it directly from the website even. So,
Correct.
I will
Yeah.
put that
And
in
so
the
like
description. Sorry, go
sorry,
ahead.
just gonna talk over you. So a lot of what we do, like because Bill hosts the podcast, so we talk to fans of all these different teams, but we also host events. So we kind of tour the country and we go into different baseball markets and we'll host watch parties. We did one in Boston in August for Red Sox and Yankees. We did one on Labor Day in Houston for Rangers Astros. So we host these watch parties. We get the fans together. It's super fun. We also do pop-up events. So for example, next week we'll actually be in Houston at Cap Summit. The fitted hat community in Houston is just incredible. And these people are so amazing. It's so much fun to be a part of. So we're actually going to have a booth there. We're going to be selling some merch that we have. We did a limited edition run. We collaborated with Houston Hat Crew. Big Dave is the president of that organization. Incredible, phenomenal human being. We have some really fun things in the works with him, but we collaborated with them to create this like old school souvenir program style t-shirt. It's super cool. Go check it out. Again, she said she'll link the website below, but there's an astronaut with a baseball bat and it looks like an old school souvenir program. So it's super dope. We put a lot of work into this, and so we'll be that's live now. You can go order your shirt now. Once they're gone because it is limited edition, but we'll be popping up at Cap Summit next Sunday. It is November the 12th. So we'll be there, me, Bill, Amber, and another guy, a part of our community, Thomas. He's a Braves fan. So the four of us will be connecting with everyone. We've also got some pins going on there. So lots of fun stuff there. And then our calendar for 2024 is insane. So once we get that live, you'll be able to check out when we'll be in your city, supporting your team, supporting our team, but supporting your team. And we're going to be doing lots of fun pop-ups, watch parties, and events. We have a huge event on the schedule in January that's going to be kicking off the 2024 season. We're going to be hosting TopFanRivalry's first annual Fan Fest. So it's going to be the 19th, 20th, and 21st in Vegas. We have contracts.
Did you say that was in January?
January, yes, ma'am.
January, okay.
January 19th, 20th, and 21st. We are going to be hosting an incredible weekend. We have our film crew that's coming in that's going to be recording some professionally filmed podcast episodes. We've got some really good guests that are going to be appearing there. Simultaneously, we've got events that are going to be happening for everyone that's not on the podcast. Friday night, we're kicking things off with a gorgeous, fun cocktail party, kind of like a mix and mingle. Everyone can connect, say hi to each other, get the ball rolling for the weekend. Saturday is going to be packed. We've got podcasts. We've got fun stuff going on for those who aren't filming. And then Saturday night, we have a private event for, our fans. And then Sunday, we're just going to wrap things up with a little farewell brunch. So much
Very
fun.
Cool.
Yeah. If you go to the website and get locker room access, it's 50% off your ticket. Otherwise, just, get your registration in for Vegas. We are capping it out at a certain amount of people. So once it sells out, and we don't want to have to refund anyone. So go get your ticket. Get your flight booked, get your hotel booked. Be checking the website and our Instagram, because we'll be posting updates on, where we'll be, areas that you should stay in, things like that. But the weekend's going to be phenomenal, and we're really excited. We've been working very hard on it to make it super special, because again, like, the fans are the heartbeat of our community. We would not be what we are without them. So this is really just a chance to honor them, give back, and create something that everyone can connect and have fun at. So yeah, we're pumped about it.
Well, that's so awesome. And again, my lawn crew is here, and so I've been muting myself so that I can hopefully not irritate all of you lovely listeners.
Not very loud.
The Fan Fest sounds super cool. I'm super excited about hearing more about that. Can you tell us what the locker room access is about? What's that about?
Yes. So on our website, we produce content. We have rivalry talks that we film professionally. We've got articles that are written, by our fans regarding different topics. There's a lot of content that is really stinking good, but it's behind the locker room door. So once you become a member of our community, you get discounts, you get access to all of our content, these baseball podcasts that we've filmed. So lots of good content that's behind that locker room door. Once you become a member, it's just, you pay one price per year, you get access to all that content, and then you get discounts for all of the events that we host. So for example, with Vegas, if you're a locker room member, it's 50% off. And if you just buy your ticket to Vegas outright, it's $150, but the $150 would not even cover the cost to get into the party that we're hosting Friday night. So there's so much value in getting your ticket, paying that cost. And then if you become a locker room member, it's 50% off. So yeah, there's just so much good stuff going on behind there. And once you're a part of this community, you quickly realize how special it is and the value of being a part of it. So yeah, it's all good stuff. We're so excited. 2024 is going to be amazing.
Well, very cool. I'm super stoked. I will not be attending, unfortunately, because I have, 2 children, and planning a trip, in January that close is not typically possible on my agenda. So I will have to plan for the next fan fest. That will have to be a thing. But so I know that on Top Fan Rivalry's Instagram, they're very, very active on their Instagram, guys. So if you go, I think they're live almost every morning, every day.
Every morning, yep, at
Every morning.
8 a.m. West Coast time, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We host in the league. So it's a 30-minute show, during that time span. And we have different people that pop on occasionally. Sometimes it's just Bill. Sometimes we have guests. But every Friday, I host the show. It's an hour long, and I bring in different guests. Last week, Susie did it with me. She was a blast. She was super fun to talk to. Our chemistry was out of this world, and now I'm a mega fan of hers. So yeah,
For sure.
thank you for being on the show. And actually, we're both Texas. Well, we both live in Texas. I'm a Texas girl. She currently resides in Texas. So we've actually been talking about getting something on the schedule so that we can meet up and get some fun things going in person. So yeah.
Yes, for sure. I'm super stoked about that. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe keep a lookout on all of the socials. Maybe we will plan something for, I don't know, like home run dugout or something. We shall see. So Megan, plug all of the socials, like where they can find Top Fan Rivalry, where they can find you, where they can find Bill. And again, I will put all of those links in the episode description, and I'm going to mute myself so that I don't annoy you guys. I'm so sorry about all of the landscaping noise.
No, it's fine. All right. So on Instagram, the main Top Fan Rivalry account is just at Top Fan Rivalry. And then if you plug my name right before that with the dot in between, it's at Megan.TopFanRivalry. That's on Instagram and really across the board. There's also Bill.TopFanRivalry and Amber.TopFanRivalry. So follow them. There's going to be so many fun announcements coming up. And we're going to be popping up in a lot of different areas. So just stay tuned because there is going to be something for everyone on the schedule. But yeah, that's our Instagram handles. We go live all the time, post lots of updates. So yeah, just follow those and stay tuned because we're excited.
Perfect. And they are on Twitter as well. And it will always be Twitter. Don't come for me and be like, oh, Susie, it's X. It's never going to be X. It's going to be Twitter. They do have a Top Fan Rivalry Twitter. It is just Top Fan Rivalry, but they are most active on Instagram. So if you want to get in on any of that action,
and of course our website, TopFanRivalry.com.
Yep, go to the website. And again, I will link all of those in the episode description below. I don't know if you know this, Megan, but I have listeners in Japan, and they have listened so much to the podcast that I'm now ranked 249th on the podcast charts in Japan. So
stop.
Shout out to all of my Japanese listeners. I don't know where you are or how you found me, but thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Super cool.
So United States, if y'all could pull up, I would really appreciate that. If you are, again, one of the 4 listeners that I have on the show, please rate, review, subscribe, like, do all of the things on all of the platforms, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Again, we will, I say we, like I have a mouse in my pocket. I will come up with some sort of schedule, or maybe it will just be a lovely surprise. Kind of like my personality. Do you get sweet Susie? Do you get sassy Susie? Just kidding. Sweet Susie doesn't actually exist, but sassy Susie, always here, guys. So, we will try and figure out a somewhat, I don't know, recent schedule. Recent, that's not the word I wanted to use. Consistent. There we go. Consistent. Yeah. Consistent. Recent and consistent are not anywhere near. No. They're like, why do we listen to this girl? We don't know.
I knew what you
meant. Sparkling personality, guys. Sparkling personality. So, but yeah, off season is here. Don't worry. I know that you guys were just losing sleep at night thinking, oh my gosh, what is going to happen? Are we not going to hear Susie's rant about baseball? Don't worry, guys. Don't worry. I'll still be here. We will still be doing podcasts about off-season stuff.
Still lots to talk about. If you miss baseball, there is still baseball happening. The Lead-On League is happening, guys. Like Dominican League, it's down there. If you have an MLB subscription, you can add that package to that. I will probably be updating stuff on my Twitter about the Lead-On Leagues and stuff like that. And we will be talking about off-season moves. There's lots of managerial stuff to talk about, lots of hot stove stuff.
to talk about Padres. What happened? Did you not pay your drug money? Like, how are you taking out $50 million loans? That fact in and of itself just kind of blows my mind. So, Fernando Tatis Jr., will you be our new left fielder? I don't know. Juan Soto in your shuffle, will you become an Astro or a Yankee like people want? Who knows? We're going to talk about it in the offseason, though. Mets, I don't know who your new manager is going to be. Like we're going to talk about that too.
Lots
So,
of stuff to talk about. Lots of stuff to talk about. Mets have a lot of work to do, so they need to go get busy.
Yeah. So again, if you guys liked this episode or, just anything about the show, again, please do not forget to review, rate 5 stars, give me, like a written review. I would love you forever and a day. And subscribe because at some point in time I would love to probably not make money at this. Just kidding. If you start making money at stuff, that's not fun. We want to do these things for free, guys. Okay?
Nobody wants to do
So,
that. What's money?
yeah, no, that doesn't pay bills. That's not we don't want any of that. All right. So, again, I will put all of the links and show notes in the description. Go follow Megan at TopFanRivalry on Instagram. Not on Twitter, guys, on Instagram. And with that, we will say goodbye and yay.
Susie, thank you so much. I had the best time. I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. You too. Love you. Bye.
Bye, girl.
I'm going to stop this maybe because no, I'm not. I'm going to hit end record right now. Thank you. No, I'm not. End record. There